Alright, this video is going to show you how to graph in Vertex form. So there are two forms of a quadratic equation, Vertex form and standard form. This video is showing you how to graph in Vertex form. So looking at this first example, we want to be reminded that our Vertex form is a times x minus h squared plus k. In this vertex form, our vertex is revealed to us. It's this h and this k value. So looking at the problem we want to graph, I'm going to rewrite it so we can illustrate some things. I'm going to put a plus 0 as a placeholder. So in that h spot and in that k spot is my vertex. Anytime that we talk about this h value, we always do the opposite. That subtraction sign is in my equation, so I must have put in a positive 1 in order for it to stay negative. So this vertex is at 1, 0. To graph it fully, we want to think of 2 points that come before it and 2 points that come after it. To find those points, we're going to use our calculator. Now, I'm going to use my calculator rather quickly, but there is a video uploaded that shows you how to use your calculator to create a table. So in my calculator, I'm going to go to y equals. I'm going to clear out the function that I have and type the one that I see. So negative parentheses x minus 1 parentheses squared. Table is in blue, so I'm going to hit second table. And I'm looking for 1, 0. I'm going to scroll up here a little bit. Here at 1, 0, that's my vertex. It's also called a mirror point because I get the same y values on either side. So if you want to create a table in your calculator before you write it down, that's fine too. You're just going to want to find that mirror point where you can see the same y values repeat. So at negative 1, I have negative 4, 0, negative 1, 1, 0, 2, negative 1, 3, negative 4. And I'm going to plot these points. So my vertex is at 1, 0. I have a point at 0, negative 1, 1, negative 4, 2, negative 1, 3, negative 4. I'm going to connect all these points with a curve, and that's a parabola. Now, why is my quadratic flipped upside down? Well, remember our transformations, this negative out front means reflection. So that's why our parabola, it looks like it's flipped. It looks like it's upside down. There are characteristics here for you to practice. I'm going to let you practice and check your answers on the blog. Let's flip it over and look at another example. All right, again, let's remind ourselves of our vertex form. So we have a times x minus h squared plus k. Remember that your h value and your k value represent your vertex. So the function we're trying to graph is x minus 4 squared minus 4. That means this minus 4 and this minus 4 sit in that h and that k spot. Remember, we think of the opposite. I must have substituted in a positive 4 in order for that to still be negative. So my vertex is 4, negative 4. 4, negative 4. Now, I could graph my next 2 points by hand. I know I can do that because I'm looking at this a value. This a value is 1. That means there's no stretch and there's no shrink. So I can go up 1 and over 1 and graph my point. I can go up 1 and over 1 and graph my next point. I'll prove to you those are the next points by making a table in my calculator. So I'm going to go to y equals, clear it out, x minus 4 squared minus 4. Second table. I'm going to scroll down here so I can see my vertex. Here's my vertex of 4, negative 4. I have some mirror points here. So I'm going to fill in my table. So point before it, 3, negative 3. 2, 0. That's 5, negative 3. And 6, 0. So let's look. 3, negative 3, we were right. Then we have 2, 0. 5, negative 3, we were right. And then we have 6, 0. So I'm going to connect these all with a curve. Connect them the best you can. I know we're all human here. There's my parabola. All right, let's try one more time. Again, let's remind ourselves of what our vertex form is. I have a vertex that sits in the H and the K spot. That's going to be 2 times x plus 1 squared minus 2. So I have 1 and negative 2. Now, my formula has a subtraction sign in it, and now this is a plus sign. So I could really think back and say x minus a negative 1 squared minus 2. I know that minus a negative is positive, and that's why we simplify our equation. So what that tells me is that in this H spot, I'm going to have a negative 1. That's what I mean by thinking the opposite. So this is negative 1, negative 2. I'm going to graph that. Negative 1, negative 2. Now, I have a 2 in my A spot. That 2 is greater than 1. It represents a stretch. So that means I'm going to go up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1, if I wanted to plot my next points by hand. Now let's make a table in our calculator again. Y equals 2 times x plus 1 squared minus 2. They match what I'm graphing. Second table. And I'm going to search, I have to scroll up now to find this vertex. There's my vertex because I have that mirror image. So we're going to have negative 2, 0, negative 3, 6, 0, 0, and 1, 6. Well, we graphed negative 2, 0, and 0, 0 using our stretch. Negative 3, 6 is going to be off my graph here, and so is 1, 6. Again, you can practice finding these characteristics below and checking the block. That's how we graph quadratics in vertex form.